So today our topic is VPC. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So this is one of the service that will be provided by AWS. So what is VPC? So before getting into VPC, let's we have a discussion like how the network is designed on premises, or what are the components that are involved in network in general. So in general, we have like router, firewall, switch, hub, right? See,
Correct.
let's say I got an lab. So with only with PCs, right? I don't have any internet connection within a LAN. So I want to make it an internet connection and make it as an one network so that every machine or every PC can communicate with each other. So how do we do in general? It should have like first of all internet connectivity, right? Right. Then you should have routers, switches, or hub, right? So if you want to attach some internet to your PC, so what you will do? Your PC should have NIC cards, right? Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
So based upon the NIC cards only, you are able to connect your internet within a network. So this is for one PC. So if you want to have a multiple PCs and should have a network connectivity, then what should we have? Router, right? We should have router, we should have switches, and we should have
Hubs.
hub. So that you can create your one LAN network within your organization or within your lab or it could be anywhere. So this is nothing but your LAN, right? Again, outside the organization or you want to create somewhere else, same office setup, same like your LAN configuration, but that should be in different location. Again, you will be having MAN or WAN, right? Okay, just forget about LAN and WAN. That is okay. So we are just concerned about our LAN only because your VPC is mainly meant for virtual private cloud. That is for your when you are in organization, you want to create your own private network. Like if you want to create a own private network for your database. See, most of the organizations don't allow anything. Everything is privacy, right? So they are not, I mean, allowed to access from outside the world directly, right? So if it is a database server or application server, right? So in front end, you'll be having only web server. So web server is facing through public. So where your end user can access to that web server. By using that web server, you will be accessing your application and database server. So for that, application and database server, we are putting it in virtual private cloud. In other words, on premises, so that is your private network. But in AWS, that is a service that is provided by AWS that is called VPC. So what are the components available in VPC? So these are all about like on premises, right? What we are seeing daily. But when it comes to AWS VPC service, so what are the things that are involved? So, I mean, day before or yesterday, we have discussed like public IP address and private IP address, right? And also elastic IP. So, what do you think? How do you get your IP address? How it is get generated? Any idea? On what base? I mean, what formula they are going to generate? Why only it should be like four? Like it should be 32-bit format, right? Let's say 192.168. 1.1. What is this?
Okay.
This is called IPv4 address,
Correct.
right? So how do you get it? How it will get generated? Like what is the IP address? What you are seeing. So what do you think? How it get generated? Is there any formula?
Yeah, there will be some formula, right? Some subtasking, something like that. Subnet mask and the subtasking. They will calculate with 255, 255, something like that. I have read about
Yes,
subnet subtasking, something long back.
exactly. So for IP address like this, so it should your computer or your PC or any other I mean you want to communicate with other PC or you want to get the communication with the other PC. It will
Yes,
understand only binary, right? Zeros and ones.
correct,
So 192 is a decimal. Then how the PC will communicate? There should be some conversion, right? If you convert binary to sorry decimal to binary only, the PC can able to communicate, right?
yeah,
So there is a formula. Actually, standard formula is 2 power 32. Let's say I want to create an my network, whole network 10.10.0.0 slash 24. So how do you calculate this one? This is your VPC network. This is your what is VPC? Your virtual private network is nothing but your size of your network. This is give so whatever this IP address slash 24. This slash 24 will give you the size of your network.
correct,
Whatever the number I give, this slash 24 will give you the size of your network. That means how many systems you want within the network, or how many PCs or how many machines you want to put in the network. Let's say, for example, have a 2 BHK room or 3 BHK room. So, are you going to divide that like master bedroom, children bedroom, guest bedroom, right? In the same way, I am dividing the larger network into a smaller network. That gives us the size of the network. See, all 3 BHK is of like 1250 SFT, right? If you want to divide, you can make it, right? See how many rooms you
correct,
want to put or how many rooms you want to make it from out of what 1150 SFT or 1200 SFT. The same way, we will be having like 10.0.0 slash 24. So that will give you a size of the network. So how do you calculate? If I give slash 24, how do you calculate? So you can minus from this is 2 power 32 minus 24. So what is the 2 power? I'll get 2 power 8, right? How many IP addresses can I get? 2 power 8? It's 256 IP addresses.
yes, yes,
So likewise, if I give any cider block notation, this is called cider block notation. Whatever this one I am giving, right? This is called cider. cider block. In AWS, we will be giving, if you want to create a VPC, first you will select with cider block notation. So that is called 10.0.by/24. So if I minus with 2 power 32, this is base formula. Okay, 2 power 32 minus 24. So I will tell you why only 2 power 32. How you will get it 2 power 32. Initially, you need to minus 2 power 32 minus 24. You will be getting like 2 power 8. That is nothing but your 256 IP addresses. So from 256 IP addresses, I can generate 10.0.0. It will start with 10.0.0, then it will end with 255 like last. Total 256, right? Here last bit is your starts with 0 and end with 255. So any IP address that will start with 0 to 255, maximum is 255 only. So in this way, you can generate your IP addresses. Suppose if I give shader block notation as 10.0.0.26/26. So how many IP addresses can I generate?
255, I think.
Pardon?
255 it will come, right?
Just check.
10.0.0. Uh,
No, there is a formula, right? First, initially you need to.
yes.
This is slash 26.
Yeah.
So 2 power 32 minus 26. How much?
32, 30, 64. 64 minus 26. It will be 64 minus 26. How much? 1 second. Let me calculate.
No, 32 minus 26.
See that is 6. 1 second. Okay. 32 into 64.
It's
Uh,
2 power 6 only, right?
2 power 6 minus
2 to the power of 6.
26. Yes.
So 2 power
6
6,
plus
how many? How many? Is it 128?
correct. 128.
128 IP addresses I can generate. So that means 128 IP addresses means, what do you think? Like, do you think these are assigned to something else? So within
Uh,
here, I am talking about 256 IP addresses. Okay.
correct.
Whereas here, I am talking about 128 IP addresses. So what you will do exactly? So if I got 256, if I got 128 IP address, so what you will do with that?
So like it will assign those IPs. Uh, like you in one in you will be having some. Now I'm remembering like it will be some class A, class B, class C.
Yeah, that
There
is
will be
fine. That is fine. Class A, Class B, Class fine. That is a usage of
yeah.
IP addresses. I mean, whether you are using your organization, anyway, that will be start with 10.10 or 192,
Correct.
72. These are private IP addresses. I mean, those are
Yeah. These are
like whether you want to use it in scientific or you want to use in organization or you want to use in. So most of the organization will use 10.0.0 or 172 or 192. So that is fine.
yes.
But my question is, what do you do like exactly with the IP addresses?
IP address is the name of the system.
Okay. So if you want to identify you, if I want to identify you, what should be, I mean, in an organization, what should you have?
So I should be having one IP address assigned to my system.
Exactly. I mean, before IP address, as an individual, you should have some identity card, right? Based on identity card, I can
You
identify.
should be having some
Yeah, I should
ID
have.
profile
Yeah,
tab,
I should
something
have.
like that.
So in each and every system within the network, it should be
Yeah,
having like unique IP addresses, right?
obviously.
So let's say I got an requirement like I want 120 machines within my network. So based on this IP setter block notation only, I can able to create my network. Is it right or not? Say,
Yes,
let's
correct.
say a customer has got some requirement, like he wants to create like 128, like they want only 128 pieces within a network. So there should be 128 IP addresses, right? So for that purpose, I just choose this formula. I don't want to choose this one because it should be, it is like 256. But whereas it is 128, it is meeting the requirement, right?
Correct.
This is how we calculate IP addresses, and we will choose like accordingly whatever the customer is asking. So based on the requirement, we will decide. I mean whether to choose slash 24 or slash 26. So we will calculate that and we will choose accordingly. So this is called cider block notation. So anyway, we will be seeing practical. Don't worry. Just understand the concept, how the IP addresses will get generated and how to choose cider block notation. So IPv4 address is of 32-bit. This is called 32. That's why we are using a formula as standard formula 2 port 32-bit. So anything, this is the highest, right? 2 port 32 is your highest bits. So if you want to create, let's say, how many IP addresses I can create? 2 port 32 means 65,536.
That, yes.
Yeah, that much I can create IP address within a network. But do you think, let's say I got requirement of only 128 IP addresses I need to create. Do you think that you will take 2 port 32? So 2 power 32 is maximum. So I want only 128 IP address out of 2 power 32. So what do I do? I'll take 2 power, this is slash 26 cider block notation, and I will just minus, and I'll take only 128 IP addresses. That meets my requirement, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, I don't want to go with 2 power 32. That is max. So any IPv4 addresses that consist of 32 bits, that is your 2 port 32. Maximum you can generate like 65,536 IP addresses with this.
Okay.
So with this we can generate 65,536 IP addresses. But I want only 128 IP addresses. So I just go for 10.0.0. Slash 26. So if I minus from this maximum, I can get only 128 IP addresses that I can assign to my machines within my network. So
Oh,
this
sir.
is how your IP address will generate. So we will be having the within a VPC, we will be having this is called CIDR block notation. CIDR is nothing but your classless inter domain routing. What is CIDR? Classless inter domain routing. So based on this CIDR block notation only, you will be able to divide your network, right? This will give
Yes.
this CIDR block will give you the size of your network. If it is slash 24 bits, that is your size of your network. Slash 26 means that's the size of your network. In the same way, within a VPC, we have other concept called subnet.
Yeah, subnet 255.255 dot.
Yeah, again, what is subnet again? Again, based on the size of your network, again you are dividing smaller networks. See,
Correct.
as we talked about, like when you got it 1150 SFT 3 BHK, in that you are dividing different rooms, right? One is master, one
Obviously.
is guest room, one is child room, kitchen, hall.
Correct.
So these are called your subnet. Again, within the network, I want to create a subnet. That is nothing but you are dividing your larger network into smaller net. So
Smaller. Yes.
yeah, this is called subnet. Okay, in subnet also we have different parts. Okay, let's tell you. And what are all the components that will available in VPC? We'll just talk about first. Subnet you will be having internet gateway. As I talked about, like when you are taking a PC or physical machine on premises, if you want to attach this to network, what should we have? NIC card, right?
Yeah, NIC card. Yes.
Yeah,
Network card.
yeah. In the same way, as I'm talking about NIC card in physical machine that is on premises, in the same way in AWS we have the option called internet gateway.
Okay.
Yesterday we have seen like we are connecting through browser, right?
Yeah.
So that is nothing but that is public only, but that particular machine is having internet gateway so that you can connect through browser. So if you don't have any internet gateway, you cannot connect through browser or anywhere from outside the world because you don't have any internet. So this is a feature that is available in AWS that is providing the public or any machine. So to access from the outside the world. So this is the feature provided by AWS. In the same way, we call NAT gateway, or peering or route table. So as I talked about, like subnet is also divided into two things. One is public subnet, second one is private subnet. So just we are taking header block notation within a VPC, but actual things will be done in subnet only because you are dividing your larger network into smaller networks, right? That is called subnet. And again in subnet, we'll be having public subnet and private subnet. So this will decide whether which one you want to face the internet or which one you want to have only within the organization. So this will decide. So what are the things that we are putting in subnet, public subnet? So that will face towards the internet. So whereas private is within the organization to have a communication between your PCs. So within the organization, you will be put it in private subnet. Whereas this public subnet will face towards the internet. I mean that can be accessed from outside the world. Whereas private cannot be accessed. So this can also be done. Even private also can communicate outside the world by using public subnet, that is through NAT gateway. So initially, if you want to access from outside the world for a public subnet, you are attaching your internet gateway to the public subnet. But if you want to access your private subnet from outside the world, you are attaching NAT gateway. Through NAT gateway, it is accessing by using public subnet, it is accessing outside the world. This is how it will happen. So do you think that if I create a multiple VPCs, do you think that we can create multiple VPCs? Yes, we can create multiple VPCs within region. You can create multiple VPCs. But do you think that one machine of, let's say, I created VPC. Let's say create VPC one in one region. I also created VPC two. Here I created, let's say here created subnet one and subnet two. Let's say this is public, this is private. The same way in VPC two also.